Yeah!
Way, woman who be thinking we soft, we don't play. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hold up. Hey, woman who be thinking we soft, we don't play. We gon' rock it till the wheels fall off.
Hello, and welcome back to once again. Lucy has no idea what episode we're on.
I don't have a clue either.
29?
Something like that.
I think it's 28 or 29. I don't even know. Guys, it has been a hot minute since we've done a podcast, and we would like to apologize. There are reasons. So 2 weeks ago, we missed the podcast because we film on Tuesdays, and my flight to Silverstone was at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, so I was not filming at 7 p.m. on Tuesday to edit to 1 a.m. on Wednesday to then be awake at 3 a.m. on Wednesday. I wasn't doing it. So that was why there was no podcast 2 weeks ago. Last week, there was no podcast because we were at Silverstone. We were going to record in the tent, but we had absolutely zero service. Like, I'm talking...
It was so bad.
It was so bad. I struggled to get my TikToks up. It was bad. Which is also why there was very little content posted on the Lights Out Let's Talk TikTok page. But we move. It's fine. But we did give you a lovely 30-minute vlog of Silverstone, which is nearly on 100 views, by the way. So you guys ate. Thank you. And there was also somebody, I can't remember who it was, but there was somebody who was reposting it on their TikTok story to promote it. So thank you.
Someone,
peace and love.
Someone commented on your TikTok, didn't they, as well, that they watched it? I swear.
Yeah. I was like, yes. So, yes.
Hello.
Incredible. Now, you guys might notice for the last couple of episodes, Brooke has not been with us. This is just a little announcement we have to make. She will be coming back. Please do not worry, to our American viewers. Brooke will be coming back. She is currently working a lot with her new job. She's been struggling to keep up with the podcast schedule as well as work and balance everything. So she just messaged us and was like, would you mind if I took a little break? And we said, absolutely, you do what you need to do. So Brooke will be back within the next couple of months. We don't know how long she'll be gone, but she will be back. So peace and love to her also. So let's get into the exciting news. Guys, we went to Silverstone last week. I'm still cripplingly depressed. Like, I think I cried the entire plane journey home. The woman
I've watched...
like, are you good? And I was like, no.
Yeah, I've been watching the videos on repeat.
I genuinely think I have watched our vlog on my editing software, so I didn't mess with the views, at least 8 times. Like, I'm living vicariously through myself. And it's like a real imposter syndrome moment. Like, I'm looking at so many of the videos going, I didn't take that. No way.
Yeah, for real.
So today we are going to talk about the truths of Silverstone. Because there is a lot that you see on social media that you go in with the expectation of what you're going to get, and you just don't get it. But then there's also things that I didn't expect to see that I did get to see. So
yeah.
We're going to talk about, we're going to break that down a little bit. Was it still the best weekend of my life? Absolutely. Am I already saving for 2026? Absolutely.
I don't even want to know the cost of next year.
Oh, the next. No.
Like, because obviously they go up. Oh my God, hashtag praying for you.
Hashtag Lucy is definitely going general admission next year. Because this year bankrupt me.
Do you know what though? That's what I said. Someone said to me, I think it's after I posted, because I posted like my thing on Twitter, the price breakdown. And someone said about like, would you like go in Lando stand again? And I was like, full of vibes, yeah, but I'd also want to sit somewhere else.
I think I'd want to do
like,
rope grandstand next year.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
But then also there's the attitude of give someone else a chance. I've got to experience Lando stand.
Yeah.
I've watched the races from Stowe Corner now. I want to go elsewhere. I'd like to see Maggots and Beckett's, and I'd like to sit at Abbey as well.
I said my 3 were Maggots and Beckett's.
Obviously.
A club. Obviously, I know club is very close to where we were, but like that seems like vibes. And
club's last turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goes club into is it Hamilton Straight is the
Yeah, we were
pit stop.
Hanger straight into Stowe, and then does it go clubs? Hamilton.
Then it goes Vale Club.
Oh yeah, Vale. I would want to avoid just because. See
The
watching
podium run.
that podium
What did
run. Oh my god! It was like release.
Bro, they went.
demons.
I was scared for them watching
We
them.
were
Like,
sitting there, like, to be fair, was there a level of disappointment that like we were in the Lando stand and Lando won and we didn't get to go to the podium whenever Vale is literally right next to us?
yeah,
it was kind of disappointing because we were like, I'd love to go celebrate his podium with us, but we understand from a safety standpoint they can't do that. But it was crazy watching them do the podium run. Like people with like rucksacks and their camping chairs
and they're like flags
and their flagpoles like sprinting through the people. I was like, oh my god. That was
I know. It was quite scary to watch.
so yeah. First thing to address with your expectations versus reality. This was genuinely the best weekend of my life. I'm honestly scared to go to another Grand Prix because I don't think it will physically top it. We were in the Lando stand, surrounded by Lando fans, as Lando won his home Grand Prix for the first ever time, and we watched the overtake with Hulkenberg and Lance Stroll.
Yeah, we did.
Right at Stone. We were like, oh my god.
I know. That's why I'm kind of scared to go Monza next year because, like,
yeah, it's like, how do you top that? We watched
bro, I'm just gonna be surrounded by Ferrari fans. I'm just gonna be an orange in the sea of red.
You can wear your Ferrari jacket.
Just put it over every outfit, guys. I'll be in disguise.
It's fine. You hide. You put your Ferrari jacket on with McLaren nails or something. But yeah, so it was an incredible weekend all around. Now, there is a lot that isn't talked about so much that I am actually starting to see be talked about more. But whenever I was first getting these tickets, now keep in mind, we got the tickets in September?
Yeah, end of September, they went on sale.
We got the tickets nearly a year ago now. Like literally 10 months
10
ago.
months.
10 months ago we got the tickets.
So I put a child in that time.
There's a lot that wasn't spoke about that I didn't actually clock until I was there. So first things first is, especially with Silverstone, pricing. It is so goddamn expensive. Now, I've justified it by saying we were there for 6 days, 5 nights, 6 days. And total for me, it would have been cheaper for Beth. But for me, because I had to buy flights and everything, mine came out to about £1,200 for the week. That's a lot of money. I would have, no, realistically, if I was going on holiday abroad for a week, you would have spent that amount as well. Which someone tried to argue that with me. I did a price breakdown on my TikTok, and someone was like, but you wouldn't have spent that on a week abroad. And I was like, no, but I would. I went to Greece for a week in last summer, and it cost me £1,800. So I would.
What the hell? I was gonna say, bro, when we went to Spain, well, we did go in January at New Year's. That was only £600 each, all inclusive, for a week. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy, to be fair.
Well, we did Greece in June.
Oh yeah, so summer.
And
summer.
And it was all inclusive, and it was £1,800.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the fact that with my flights, the accommodation, tickets, and food and merch and everything included, it came to £1,200. I really don't think it's that bad. Whenever you break down everything you actually got with it. Now, that's concert nights, that's evening entertainment.
Food, we did eat on track. You ate some days twice on track.
This is true. So there were days I was spending £30 on food alone. And then, not to mention, the prices of drinks on track is what?
£3.50. £5 for a Red Bull.
It was £5 for a Red Bull, which was the one that really, I was like, what?
You were shook when she charged you £5.
No, the one that really got me was we went, now, I will say, they were brilliant, but we went to a little smoothie bar because Beth had been craving a smoothie all week. I kid you not, we got there on Wednesday and Beth was like, I want a smoothie. Thursday, I want a smoothie. Friday, we found a smoothie stand and I said, Beth, go get your friggin' smoothie because I can't listen to you talk about smoothies anymore. So we all went to get a smoothie. I got a smoothie and a Red Bull, and it came out to £17.
Yeah, I think she charged you wrong. For real.
£17 for a smoothie and a Red Bull. I was like, my guy. So yeah, there are definitely cheaper ways to go about it. Obviously, this is my first Grand Prix experience, so my attitude was very much go big or go home. This was in place of a summer holiday for me. I'm not going anywhere else this summer. But yeah, there's a lot of cheaper ways you can do it. Now, we went the more expensive route. We had Lando stand tickets, which is in a grandstand. If you go general admission, you can half your cost. We bought our food on track. If you bring food with you, you can quarter your cost. And then if you don't buy merch on track, like I spent £110 on food and drink for the week that we were there, and I spent like 120 on merch.
Yeah,
so if you're not getting flights and you're not getting food on track or merch on track, you can already take that down to £800 for your week with your accommodation.
Yeah.
So we went the expensive route. It is what it is. I kind of had to buy flights. I can hardly walk to England from Northern Ireland. It would be kind of difficult. Although people do swim from Northern Ireland to Scotland.
You should have tried it.
I should have tried it. I could have saved some money.
Probably not, because by the time you get here, you have to like book a train or something.
No, I walk from Scotland to England. I just commit.
Fair.
So yeah, there's certainly cheaper ways to go about it. I will probably most definitely be going a cheaper route next year. And there's also cheaper ways for me to fly. If I had flown from Dublin to London, I think it would have ended up about £100 cheaper on flights. But I went from flights. I booked my flights really late.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
But reason being, Lucy decided to book third party, and Lucy got scammed. So Lucy lost £250 and had to buy last minute flights, I think 3 weeks before we left.
Yeah.
So I ended up flying out of Belfast City Airport, which is a tiny airport, to Birmingham. So I probably booked the most expensive flight I could, but
yeah,
I'm also lazy and I didn't want to drive 2.5 hours to the airport.
Yeah, if you flew into like London as well, I know loads of people flew straight into London and then got the train because it's cheaper to fly.
I also believe from surrounding areas there were shuttle buses near London to Silverstone.
Yeah, Milton Keynes, Oxford.
So there was definitely cheaper ways to go about it. I was just stupid. But that's okay. So in terms of actual price breakdown, our grandstand seats for 3 days was about $475, I think.
Yeah.
I don't fully remember. I was very fortunate. It was a gift from my parents for my birthday and Christmas. So I actually don't remember how much it cost. I can't lie. Camping was extremely affordable. We were able to stay 150 each, I think. It was 300 total.
Yeah.
That we were able to stay at Woodlands for 6 days. And the facilities at Woodlands were incredible.
Big shout out Woodlands. If you go, book their recharge lockers.
Yes!
We paid £45 to have it Wednesday to Sunday. And genuinely, we would walk down in the morning.
I think it was Wednesday to Monday. We returned our pass on the Monday. Did we not on the Monday morning?
No, we returned it on Sunday night. It might have been to Monday, but we did Sunday night. We walked down once a day, plugged one power bank in, had one on track, and just swapped. So we never ran out of battery.
Ever. You could charge, and for the £45, you could charge up to 3 devices. So we each had a power bank charging at all times, and we each had one on track at all times. So we literally never ran out of battery on our phone, which was incredible. So massive shout out. And also, not to mention, there was also merch sold at Woodlands, which was cheaper than the on-track prices.
So your hat was like normal retail, what you'd pay online for it.
And then there were like rides. There were so many different food choices, from like vegan, there was vegetarian stalls, there was gluten-free stalls, there was pizza. The pizza was great. And like, I'm talking pretty much the vast majority of cuisines that you could think of, they had on track. My personal favorite was the Sunday dinner in a Yorkshire pudding burrito. It was incredible. Which we actually ended up eating at Woodlands most nights rather than on track. And it was also slightly cheaper at Woodlands. So, big shout out. I don't know what any of the other campsites were like because we didn't stay at them, but Woodlands was great. The security were an absolute vibe. And we also got really lucky because we were staying at Lando Stand, which is Stoke Corner, which was gate 10. And Woodlands entrance is at gate 10. So it was a 3-minute walk to our grandstand seats every morning, which was brilliant. Yes.
And also this comes on to the next point of being nice to your security.
Yes.
Because we were on the Wednesday night, we thought we were going to have a little explore, see what's vibes in. And we found the Lando store being put up.
Oh, we stood there 3 hours.
We were just stood there. We were just watching them put up. We were talking to the security woman who was absolutely a legend. I don't know her name.
She was incredible. She's telling us everywhere she's done like security work before, and she's so like casual, being like, "Oh yeah, I've worked Silverstone for like 3 years. I just finished working Glastonbury," and we were like,
"Yeah, she was
girl."
So cool. But then, because we were being so nice to them, we caught. This is where the first wind of Lando being at the shop came from, because was it her or was it one of the guys? One of them.
It was her.
Dropped out because I think someone asked if Lando was coming, and she was like, "Oh, not tonight, but he might be coming tomorrow."
But she didn't confirm it. She
didn't confirm. Yeah,
we worked around the subject because Beth and I, because we'd been stood there for so long, people started coming up to see like why Beth and I were standing there. We also made a bunch of friends standing up there. We were just chatting away, and we were like, "Oh, if you want to look like that way," so. Highly recommend just getting to know the people in your campsite as well, because these are the people you're staying around as well. And yeah, basically someone then asked, they were like, "Oh, well, what are you waiting for?" And we were like, "Oh, nothing. We're just chilling, watching them put up the store." And they then asked the security guard, they were like, "Oh, is like Lando coming tonight or something to take promo photos?" And she was like, "Not tonight." Like, very sort of danced around the subject, but definitely addressed that he was coming to the store
at some point.
We did not know when at this point until someone else, your friend
Amy, big love Amy.
So Amy then came to our tent at about
8
a.m. in the morning and just started whacking the side of our tent. So I jumped because I was like, "We're getting mugged. This is it."
This is literally your biggest fear. You're like, someone's gonna break in.
Yeah, my biggest fear before going to Silverstone was someone's gonna break into the tent. Someone's gonna steal our merch. Something's gonna go wrong, which thankfully it didn't. And I was like, "This is it. This is the end. Take everything. I don't care." And she was like, "Are you guys awake?" And we were like, "Yeah." And she was like, "One of the security guards has just confirmed Lando is going to be at the store at 9:30, and the first 100 people at the gate get in to meet him." Tell you what, Beth and I have never jumped out of bed so fast in our lives. Beth sprinted to the Lively campsite to get our portable chargers. I prepared us breakfast.
You walked out, I bet you're just 2 waffles in your hand.
2 like Nutella waffles, and I was like, "Breakfast, go." And sure enough, we got up there and we were sitting, once again, made friends with all the people around us, trading friendship bracelets already, laughing at other people's flags, because people had really funny flags made. And bada bing, bada boom, an hour and a half later, we're standing in front of Lando Norris. And we were like, "Hi." You know what? My favorite bit was there was a young boy was next to me, and he was with his dad. And his dad was making fun of me because I was properly like I was shaking and I couldn't stop shaking, which was honestly really embarrassing. But it was just so much adrenaline in that moment because we had inner track tickets for the Thursday. So I'd sort of thought, we'll maybe see Lando at some point. But I had never confirmed in my head, this is it, we're meeting Lando Norris. So we didn't even know what was going on because we walked in and there was this DJ and he was playing music and they were handing out free Lando monsters. So we sort of thought like, oh, it's just like a little event to open the store. Maybe Lando won't actually show up because it was.
Or he'll come, say hello, and leave.
Yeah, exactly. So there was like, it was after 9:30 at this point as well. So in my head, I was like, Lando's not coming. Like he's 10 to say he's not coming. And then next thing you know, bro's head just appears. He just popped up from nowhere. I was like, hi! And we were like,
he's just got cans of Monster in his hand. He's just on the stage in front of us. We were like,
hello. So yeah, odd experience. And then he got in the monster car and he gave it a couple of revs until the entire place filled with smoke. And we were like,
all dying.
So I sort of had a moment at that point because I don't do well in big crowds. This is brutal honesty. I really don't do well in big crowds. So I had a little like freak out moment because everyone at this point started pushing to get closer to the stage, which I understand why, but also like, let's not. So I had a freak out moment and I was like, right, I'm going to go to the back because at this point, I don't care about getting anything signed. I just need to not pass out because it was also like 26 degrees.
It was so warm.
I was like, I'm going to go to the back. You do you. See you later. So I moved to the back and then I met another girl who had been hanging out with the entire weekend. And I'm not going to say her name because she did not give us permission to put her name in the podcast. But hello, you know who you are. And she basically turned around to me because she was also at the back. And she turned around to me and was like, you wanted to meet John, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, he's literally over there. So I turn and with nobody around him because everyone's trying to shove to get to Lando, there was John. So Beth and I, very cool, calm and collected, walked over and we were like, hi, John. We have flags with your face on it.
Nah, sorry, I was watching the video and I go, why do I look at, then I just look at him and go, because you put your flag down and you're like, it's got your name on. Then I look at him and go, you know, in case we forgot who you are. I was like, why would I say that? Why would I say that?
He found it hilarious. I want to put this out there because Beth and I got a lot of hate on Twitter for our John flags. To the point where I nearly didn't even bring the John flag because I was like, this is making me uncomfortable. But chose against it, brought it anyway. And we were like, would you mind signing them? And he was like, this is brilliant. He was like, I love this. And he was like, can you take a photo of this and send it to my parents, please?
And it did get to his dad. It did get to his dad.
His dad has seen it. So he signed the flags. He took a photo with us. He was lovely. He stood and had a conversation with us. Big up, John. Then we were just standing at this barrier, talking to John, having a lovely conversation. Next thing you know, Lando appears.
Lando's just in front of us.
Bro just spawns.
But he did. He just spawned in.
I was like holding my hat at this point. Don't know how it got off my head and into my hand, but I was holding my hat. And I just sort of held it out and Lando smiled at us and signed it. And we were like, love. So if we hadn't have had our little moment of freaking out and going to hide with John, we wouldn't have got our stuff signed by Lando. So big up, John.
I do want to because I like videoed when Lando was like coming because like obviously I got my picture with him. And there's a point at the start of the video I go, guys, I'm so stressed because we were like separated because there was a cameraman in between us.
Yes.
It was like me, cameraman, then it was that boy, and then it was you.
Yeah.
And I go, guys, I'm so stressed. And you just go, it's going to be fine.
I feel like I was kind of saying that to myself as well as you. But yeah.
So funny. I was giggling watching
the amount of times I'm sitting to Beth going, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. And I don't know if I was reassuring her or me or both, but anyway, it was a stressful moment just because of how many people were pushing.
Yeah, we were on the barrier and there was like nowhere to go.
But the little boy with his dad, he got his stuff signed with Lando and he was like, oh, are you going to win this weekend? And Lando was like, oh, of course. Like, just joking.
He was like, shake on it.
And yeah, he was like, shake on it. So Lando shook his hand and he just turned to me and his dad and went, I'm never washing my hand again.
He's so real for that, though.
And I was like, love that. So yeah, then Lando got whisked away. There was a couple moments with a couple of rude fans. I don't know whether I should touch on it.
We don't need to talk about them.
We don't
Bring
need to
the
talk
news
about
on.
it. There was the odd fan that was just very disrespectful to Lando and sort of demanded things from him. And I was like, you are entitled to nothing. This is one thing I want to make so clear about attending a Grand Prix weekend. You are entitled to nothing. Even if you purchase inter-track tickets, which we had for the Thursday, there were multiple drivers that we saw that we did not get signatures from because they just simply either weren't signing things or they were only signing their team's merchandise. Or they just missed your hat.
Yep.
Very fair. There were certain people who were being cheeky further down the line that were asking for 2 or 3 different things signed. You're entitled to nothing. There was a lot of people were getting angry that certain drivers didn't sign their things. And we're like, guys. So that's one thing that I think is a big expectations versus reality, is a lot of people think just because you have inter-track tickets, you're going to see all the drivers. You are not. We did not see Oscar Piastri, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso,
Fernando, Lewis, Yuki.
We didn't see Yuki either.
No,
there were other drivers that we saw and they didn't sign our hat. Did we scream at them for that? No. They moved along and you went, cool. No, we were very fortunate. We went to Intertrack on the Thursday, so it was actually very calm. It was very zen. There was only like 3 rows of people. And there were certain things, like once I'd had my hat signed, I was grabbing hats from behind and passing them forwards. So yeah, Intertrack was a brilliant experience, but it's a long experience.
Yeah, you have to be willing to stay there for hours.
So we got to Intertrack at 3 p.m. and we didn't leave until about 8 p.m. But I have the hat down here. We met a lot of the drivers, okay? Some of the drivers actually had a conversation with you. We spoke with Pierre for quite a bit. We spoke with Paul Aaron for quite a bit. And some of them would like say something as they were signing, but weren't really like speaking. As Beth said in our vlog, Gabriel Bortoleto was really funny because he was just sitting going, there's so many McLaren hats.
He's getting flashbacks to last year when he was McLaren Junior.
If you are ready to stand and commit at Intertrack, to stand there for hours, you will get to meet the vast majority of the drivers. Ollie Behrman came past us about 8 times. Like
Ollie stopped for everyone.
Ollie was in and out, in and out, in and out, and there were moments where like he walked past the main bit of the paddock entrance and people were like, Ollie, and he was like, I've already signed stuff for you. I haven't signed anything for them yet. And then he like went up and signed for people that he remembered whether he had signed something for you or not.
He remembered where he got to.
Yeah. And he took his time with everybody. So Intertrack, brilliant experience, very, very long day. I would recommend going to Intertrack for days that you wouldn't mind missing the sessions. I have seen people saying that Sunday and Saturday are the best 2 days for Intertrack. Sure, maybe, but you have to be willing to miss qualifying and maybe even a section of the race.
Yeah, well, one of my friends went on the Friday and she missed I think she missed FP2 in the afternoon. But she was like barrier at the entrance.
Yeah.
When they all came out. So she said it was worth it to miss that much because she was so close.
Our different days are maybe better. Maybe on the Saturday or the Sunday they're more likely to sign other things. But I would say only go on a day that you're willing to miss sessions on. Okay, other thing. Expectations versus reality that I fell for hard. British weather. Looking at the weather app. Don't trust it.
You are not prepared.
It's as if Silverstone has its own little subclimate.
It does. It does.
So my weather app was telling me, like, whenever I was packing, my weather app was like, sunshine all week. So did I still pack hoodies and stuff? Yes. And did I still pack my coat? Yes. Did I bring a poncho? No, I did not.
I said I had a poncho and you were like, we're not going to need it. You're not going to need that.
Did my legs get absolutely drenched? Yes.
I was
but not to mention, on the Sunday, which wasn't shown because it wasn't like broadcast at this point. In between sessions, there was thunder and lightning, like bad thunder and lightning.
I was quite scared.
To the point where I actually looked at Beth and I was like, I don't think we should be sitting in the grandstand. Like, this is not safe. But they didn't evacuate us, so we just stayed.
You looked at me, you said that. I was like, nah, we'll be fine.
I was like, once they start telling us to leave the grandstand, then I'll be worried. So yeah, it was very close lightning as well, because it was like the lightning would strike and the thunder would sound like a second later, and we were like, ooh. And the rain was torrential to the point where I think, was it Formula 3 had to be cancelled? Like the second half of the race had to be cancelled.
Yeah, they got a red flag and then it just never continued.
Yeah, so do not trust the weather apps. They lie. The chances of rain are very high. Now, our Thursday and Friday were glorious. So sunny, so warm. Honestly, almost too warm. Like, I felt...
Bro, my nose was so sunburnt. I was like Rudolph.
Look at my tan lines. They're awful. And then Saturday was still warm but windy, so it was like a hoodie weather. And another thing that I had not packed for, that I didn't even think about, to be honest, because the weather was saying sunshine and warm, for pajamas, I packed like one pair of sweats, and then I packed like pajama shorts and like pajama t-shirts. Just chill pajamas that I would wear at home in bed. No. The campsite overnight is freezing. Like, we were in full sleeping bags and everything. Like, it wasn't like I was sleeping with a nice little blanket or anything. We were in heavy duty sleeping bags, and I was in sweats and like a t-shirt almost like this, just more pajama-y. And I woke up at like 2 a.m, teeth chattering. Another thing, expectations versus reality. We're getting into them. We're being open and honest. You will not sleep. You will not sleep well at Silverstone. Let's be real.
Oh, I had great sleep.
Let's be honest. Once I actually got to sleep, I was fine. If you're a light sleeper like I am, people are loud. We had the Battle of the Anthems one night where everyone was playing different national anthems. We had drunk groups of men running up the middle of all the tent rows screaming the song 33 Max Verstappen. We had just a lot of noise. There is a lot of
entertainment until like midnight, 1 a.m.
Yeah. So if you are a very, very light sleeper, or you can't sleep unless there is silence, please invest in some earplugs, because once I put my loops in, I was great. I was gone. But yes, there is music playing until about, even in the family zone. We sort of thought, because we were in the family zone, it might have been a bit quieter at night, because obviously there's kids. Kids go to sleep earlier than adults. No, there were movies, music, everything playing until about 11:30 midnight. So something to be wary of, that if you're a very, very light sleeper, you might struggle. And then, not to mention, you heard everybody getting up at 6 a.m. ready to go to track. Like, if the gates were opening at, I think on the Sunday, the gates opened at 6:30, and I was hearing people's alarms going off from 5 a.m. So it's loud. It's not a super quiet environment. You're not in a hotel. You're in a campsite. You're surrounded by thousands of other people. Another thing to note, you might be next to people that support your rival team. This happened to Beth and I. Befriend them. You are here. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Don't be petty. We were next to an entire family of Max Verstappen fans. And you know what? We had a great time with them. They were so lovely. Nice. They were so nice to talk to. They made a joke because they saw Beth and I setting up in Orlando merch. And they said, oh no, here comes trouble. And we were like, uh-oh, here we are. Like, genuinely just joking about, had a great time with them. And they had young kids that were running about. And once again, genuinely, they were great. They were fine. And once it started to get late, they stopped running about. Everything was great. Be friends with people. And one that was a big, big shock to me, which I don't see a lot of people talking about online. Going to a Grand Prix in person is nothing like what you see online. Our entire weekend, not a single person commented on the fact that we were women supporting Lando. Not once. Nobody cares. Nobody cares who you are. Nobody cares what you're doing. Nobody cares what you're wearing. Nobody cares who you're supporting. We cheered for everybody going past. People were cheering for Lewis. People were cheering for George. People were cheering for Max. People were cheering for Lando. People were cheering for every single driver. The loudest, to be honest, I think Nico Hulkenberg got a louder cheer than Lando from the Lando stand. So everybody supports everybody. We even had people who had a Max Verstappen flag in the Lando stand about 3 rows in front of us. So these parasocial people online that try to tell you that supporting different drivers is weird, or if you're a Lando fan, that it's weird, or if you're a female supporting Lando, you're not a real Formula One fan, doesn't exist. When you're actually there, it does not exist. Nobody cares. Not to mention, Beth and I were pretty much surrounded by middle-aged men. I would say
literally,
there were
so
more
many
men. There were more men in the Lando stand than women.
Fact, probably.
Like, genuinely.
Bro, our whole row was like men, be so for real. Apart from like us 5 girls in the middle, the rest was men.
Yeah, and behind us as well, all men.
And the row in front of us was a lot of men. I want to give a big shout out to that group of lads. There was like 3 of them, do you remember, at the end of the row in front of us? And I was a bit weary at first because the first 2 days, they turned up and they were like in Mercedes merch, Haas merch, Red Bull merch. I was like, if you guys have come here and you're not going to bring the vibes. And then on race day, they all turned up in fluoro.
They were full
I was like,
fluoro.
that's so good. I respect it. I was like, I was a bit worried, but literally everyone, even the Max fans, had that fluoro t-shirt on underneath the jumper.
Yeah.
I was watching.
That was the only reason why I was so disappointed that it rained on Sunday, because a lot of people didn't have like fluoro rain jackets.
Yeah.
So it kind of took away from it, but by the time we got to the end of the race and the sun was out again, it was full fluoro.
It was fluoro. Yeah.
But yeah, it was a brilliant weekend all around. Expect to do a lot of walking, and a lot of people underestimated how much walking there actually is. Beth and I averaged 20,000 steps a day.
Yeah, if you're sat still, bro, be prepared. It's like a 40-minute walk.
You're far away. Your main stage is about 30 minutes with nobody there, 40 minutes if it's busy, especially trying to get past that Hilton.
I blame Max Futrell for that.
Yeah, Max Futrell got beat. No, trying to get past the Hilton was like trying to walk through a battleground. Because thousands of people were waiting to see a glimpse of Max Futrell, Lando, Oscar. Like crazy.
Like people camped there all day to wait for Lando and Oscar to go to bed.
Crazy behavior.
That's crazy.
The main stage was mental. Like we were getting to the main stage to watch interviews like an hour prior, and we were still about 700 people back. Same for the concert nights. We got to Ray like 2.5 hours before the actual concert started.
We just sat on the grass. We
were like right back where the food stalls were, and we were like, chill, we'll stay here. And another thing, one thing that I really wanted, like that actually surprised me, is how little people stayed for the junior categories.
Yeah.
Like crazy. I understand that there are definitely going to be certain people who are only there for Formula One, which is completely fine. If you're only there for Formula One, you do you. To be completely honest, before I went this weekend, like last weekend, I only watched Formula One, and very rarely I would tune into Formula 2. I kept in like with the standings, but because we've only got a skybox downstairs in our living room, my parents don't love whenever I'm like, oh, they have 2 races on, can I watch it? And they're like, no, Formula One's on in a couple hours. And I was like, cool. So I don't get to watch Formula 2 that often unless my parents aren't in on a Sunday. So very interesting to actually get to sit and watch Formula 4 and Formula 3, because it was my first time ever being introduced to it. And I sort of had the attitude of, I've paid for on-track action, I'm going to watch on-track action. And then I found that there's a Formula 4 driver from Northern Ireland. And I was like, my guy. And then he DNF'd in the race, which made me really sad.
Rip.
Auckland, you have a new fan. You have a new supporter. And same with Formula 3. Like, I was having to lean over to Beth and going like, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea who anybody is. Who are we cheering for? Who are we supporting? And then Formula 2, obviously I knew all the drivers, so that was incredible. And then F1, every expectation. But I'm going to say a bold statement. And this is one that I really need to get across as an expectations versus reality. When you are watching a race in person, at least 70% of the time, you have no idea what's going on. We had screens in front of us, so we could actually see what was happening at different parts of the track. But when it was raining, you couldn't see the screens. And when it was sunny, there was a glare on them. It's like, do you know whenever you try to turn your phone on and you're outside and you're like this to try and see the phone screen? That's what it was like trying to see the actual screen at certain points of the race. And not to mention, timing screens, don't even try. Don't even try. You had no signal, so we couldn't open the F1 app to try and track it. So Beth was having to zoom in on her phone and take photos every like 20 minutes to work out who was in what place. Obviously, at the beginning of the race, you knew where everybody was because they would drive past you in that order. Once they started overtaking the back runners, I lost track of everything.
Yeah.
So there are certain points, and like I came straight home and I rewatched the race so that I knew everything that went on. Like, we didn't even know that Franco Colapinto didn't start until about lap 7 or 8, until we went, why is there only one Alpine? So there are definitely certain things that you do miss whenever you're watching it on track, but the experience makes up for it because
for real,
it's incredible. And also, Stowe Corner was a great view because you could see them coming down the hangar straight. You saw them coming around the corner and all the way up past Vale, and you could see the pit entry. So anytime the safety car came out, we were the first ones to see the restart. So pretty cool. We also watched the Oscar Piastri moment.
I was literally going to say at Oscar Piastri.
Yes, certainly there are a lot of negatives that come with it, but the positives most definitely outweigh them. And I will be back, and I will enjoy again. Beth, do you have anything else that you expected while you were there that didn't happen? You met Max Futrell. You didn't expect that to happen.
Max Futrell. I feel like I was like chief of manifesting that weekend because like I put out a post being like, lol, if I meet them, it'll be so funny. And then like we met all three of them. I did. Max loved the flag.
We got so lucky with Max Futrell.
Yeah, lucky. I got a text. The big loves, you know who you are. I just got a text in FP3. Max Futrell is outside of the London stand. Get out now. We just ran.
We were like, okay.
No, I don't know if I had that many because I feel like I've like known people. Like I've had family members who would go to Grand Prix pretty much every year, whether it was Silverstone or abroad. So I kind of knew
nobody in my family, so I went in blind.
Yeah. See, I kind of knew like what they'd experienced and what they told me about it. Like when I said, oh, like I'm going this year, they told me about it. So like I kind of expected pretty much most things because it's what I've been told.
I didn't expect having to wait 20 minutes just to refill my water bottle.
It's England.
I knew like there'd be queues for food and toilets and stuff, but the way everyone had described it was like, oh, there's water stations literally everywhere. Which, to be fair, there was.
They do need more. To be fair, there's none at the main stage.
There was none at the main stage. That's true. But yeah, we were like, oh, we'll refill our water bottle quickly and then we'll head over to the main stage to watch the interviews. And we ended up standing for like 20 minutes just waiting to refill our water bottle, which was crazy. So, yeah. Also, one thing that I actually, genuinely, I will put my hands up and say that I never knew this was a thing. I thought it was just the people at Vale that got to go on track, to be completely honest. Beth then informed me while we were there, an hour after the race ends, everyone is allowed on track. I did not know this information. So there's something in case anybody didn't know that as well. Because I saw people on Twitter being like, how did everyone get on track at the end? Like, I saw people not knowing that this was a thing, and I didn't know it was a thing. And a lot of people came out of the grandstands and raced straight to the main stage because obviously Lando and Oscar are doing their shoey. Everyone wanted to see. But no, if you wait an hour after the race ends, you can get on track and you can get photos on track. And the amount of people just picking up little marbles of tire was hilarious. So
it sounds like a lot waiting an hour though, but it's not, because by the time that they've got in and then we watched like the podium and like the interviews, by the time that's done, you're basically allowed onto the track.
it was like 10 minutes we waited maximum. So we are going to leave it there with our Silverstone expectations versus reality. We hope that opens your eyes a little bit to what you can expect if you're planning to go next year. If you have any more questions, feel free to head over to our Instagram or our TikTok, still just Lights Out Let's Talk, and shoot us a DM and we will happily answer them. But make sure you stay tuned for next week, because there has been a lot of drama that has happened over the last couple of weeks that we need to fill you all in on, and we're going to have a proper debate on it. This is including Christian Horner. This is including
Max Verstappen.
Max potentially moving to Mercedes. There's a lot of rumors flying about. There's a lot of drama online as well that we can cover as well. But we sort of thought, we got 3 weeks off. We'll give you a Silverstone expectations versus reality, and then we'll give you the drama next week. But we hope you guys enjoyed. Please feel free to message us with any other questions you have regarding going to Silverstone if you're interested in going next year. And I also think the Lando stand might still be there next year. There has been rumors about that as well. Fingers crossed. But peace and love, guys. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you have a great rest of your week while we patiently wait for Formula One.
For racing.
Anyway, guys. Cue that outro.
We don't play. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hold up.